Hey everybody, it's Texas Tea here, otherwise known as Tracy. It's day 29 for me on my juice only fast. Never thought I'd make it this far, but I'm very glad that I did. Pardon me, it is early morning here, well, early for me. I have been up since about 5:30 naturally, which is crazy. Um, so I may sound still, my voice isn't um, up to speed quite so much yet because I haven't really done a lot of talking this morning. So I wanted to say a quick hello to a few people. Of course, my darling Carla. Do awesome in school, all right? Do not slack off. And you can talk to me later. You know I love you, girl. Also, some people who have been incredibly kind and motivating and compassionate to me on the rebootwithjoe.com community. This week, I wanted to personally mention Katz, Zutal, KJ, you go girl, Elias, Joanne, and Sunshine. You guys know you're awesome. Just keep up with it. You're very inspiring. You're very supportive. You support me. You support other people in the community, and I see you posting great things. So please keep that up. You are inspiring, and thanks for being here for me. So, a couple things I want to talk about. I did get a Rebel finally. I broke down. I bought a Rebel. Yes, I bought it on Craigslist. I got it for $65. It's in really good shape. It was only missing the brush, which I have, you know, the little the mesh cleaning brush for the filter, and I can clean that. That's not a big deal. I have a million brushes just like that around here already. So I found it very easy to assemble, very easy to clean, and we juiced some apples last night, and it was super fast, and cleanup was a snap. So while I'm not kicking myself that I didn't get it sooner, I'm glad that I have it now, and I'm really going to use the crap out of it because I love it. So thank you for everyone who encouraged me to get it because I think it's going to be great. My husband's excited about it. He encouraged me to buy it, and um, he has been drinking juices, pardon me, as well. And he even took a couple to work with him today, and along with an excuse me, see my voice, sorry, along with an apple and a banana, and he said that he would have salad for lunch if he got hungry. So I'm really proud of him, baby. If you watch this, I'm so proud of you, and I want you to be healthy and happy. I love you so much. um, so I would like to address and thank you to Plant Power for opening this dialogue about some of the products that I featured in my last video telling you how I got through 26 days of juicing without a juicer. I thought it was important to show people what I was really using. I get lots of questions, you know, of course, when you get into the 20s, you know, some people are like, how are you doing as far as the days, how are you doing it? What are you using? And I don't know. I think am I the only one that wasn't using a juicer? I think I might be the only one who wasn't using a juicer. So I wanted to, full disclosure, tell everybody what I was using and show you what I had and how much it was costing me, which it wasn't as expensive as it could have been, but I was, yeah, I'm cheap, and just the cost, I couldn't, I said, no, just get a Breville, because not only is it a lot of bottles, okay, because I recycle, and this is creating a lot of bottles. I try not to buy too many things in plastic bottles because I don't want to support that market. We need more stuff in whole packages, natural packages, not in plastic. So I was feeling a little bad about all the bottles that I was going through, buying those at Trader Joe's, but also, and yes, um, Plant Power, to answer your question, they are not organic. The cold pressed juices, guys, that I showed you from Trader Joe's, they are not organic. They do not say organic on the label. They are cold pressed, which is good, but they're not organic. Which is why I did kind of move to the organic carrot juice when I was starting to experiment with my own blends. Organic is important to me. I can't always afford it, especially now since we are working with one income while I am off getting my PMP certification. So I wanted to minimize costs more. I used to work for an organic co-op here in Dallas. It was the first urban farmstead in Dallas. And so I love supporting local farmers. There's a concept called Beyond Organic, which if you know your local farmers and you go out to their operations and you see how they're doing things, I don't really care about the organic certification because I'm watching how you do things and I know you're doing it even better than some of these companies who get away with an organic certification. And I'm not going to get into food politics here because I really can get off on a rant with that stuff. But I'm very passionate about food politics and keeping local family farms in business. I'm originally from Iowa. I grew up in Iowa. And while I lived there in the 90s, everything changed. And in 1 year, 1 out of 3 private family farms in Iowa went out of business. That made a huge impact in that 1 year on what direction the food industry took from there. Thank you, Monsanto. So I'm not going to get off on that tangent. Um, so there are, certified organic is not necessarily the golden seal for everything. There are companies out there that you can pay $3,000 for an organic certification, and as long as you're staying within certain guidelines, then you can do that. I know plenty of small family farms around here in Dallas that are doing things the right way. They're doing things better than organic. They use a lot of aquaponics and some really cutting edge technology, but the the loops, the hoops and stuff you have to jump through sometimes to get organic certification isn't even worth it. And I don't know. I just don't necessarily trust it all the time. I want to go out to the farm. I want to see how you're growing it. I want to see how you're treating your animals. And then I don't care about a label because I'm there and I'm seeing it. So I encourage you to do that. Support your local farms. If you do, I know some people do raw milk and things like that. I personally don't because I have a dairy allergy um, that I occasionally aggravate with cheese. Um, but you need to support your local farmers. You need to go out there and see how they are running their operations. And then the labels don't matter, okay? Get it from the source wherever you can. You pick orchards and, berry patches and things like that. Those are great. And you know what? The kids love that stuff. So you want a family activity, take them out picking some apples. Grab some blueberries. So I highly encourage you to do that. Don't just It's not just farmers markets are great, but it's not just about farmers markets and stores. You can go directly to the source in some areas, so please do check into that. Now, plant power. Let's talk about the naked juices, and let me tell you about how actually buying the naked juices went against my values, and it had slipped off my radar when I purchased it. I have okay, first thing, I looked at the bottles and there was nothing really scary in it. But as you can see in my video, when I turned the bottle around and I was like, well, it has la la la. I was looking for any like really bad ingredients. There's not anything that really triggers like, oh my God, don't drink that. That's, awful, preservatives and all that kind of crazy stuff. But the thing is that I personally, here's more food politics. I personally don't support PepsiCo. And I have a great app called Buycott. That's Buycott. And I'll put up a link so you can go check it out. What this app does is when you're about to buy something, you fire up your app, you run the barcode it has a barcode reader, and it will tell you exactly the family tree of who makes that product and who ultimately owns all of the companies involved with making that product. You scan it, it says naked juice, and it goes up the family tree, and you find out that it's, owned by PepsiCo. Again, Monsanto, ConAgra, ADM, I don't support any of these companies if I can possibly help it. And that's a long story for another video. So, Plant Power, what I would like to do is thank you for reminding me that in my haste and desperation for a drinkable protein source, I violated my own values. Because I did not really think about, what, I knew it was owned by PepsiCo too. And I was on my way out of the store in a rush. It was the last thing that I had on my list to buy. And when I found it, I was like, great, grab a few of these for myself and my husband if he wants one, and then I can get out of the store. I didn't think about it. Again, mindlessness. Elias, Buddha is here to remind me to be mindful. So I lit him today for you. I have to remember to be mindful, and that my purchases, you know what? Sometimes we feel like voting doesn't matter. Vote with your dollars, folks. Whatever you are purchasing, you are supporting a market for that product. So while the naked juices, I will tell you, while they did the trick with the protein, I can get protein elsewhere. I'm going to buy Joe's protein powder. But also, what I didn't realize was that there was whey in there, and I was feeling a little backed up. The last couple of days, I had some constipation. I did have to take some laxatives. And I went back to those bottles and looked at the ingredients, and I'm like, whey. Oh, right, Tracy, casein and whey. You're not allowed to have that. So while the protein boost was good, I actually felt in my lower intestines, they were not liking it so much. So I'm not going to drink any more of that. Okay, it's up to you if you want to drink the naked juices. I'm not telling you where you should put your money, but thank you, Plant Power. You pointed out that like whether you're on a fast or not, you made the decision that you didn't want to support this company, so do not buy this product. I can get protein elsewhere, and I will. So I love that post that you put up, and thank you for looking out for me. And it actually went deeper than that, so I wanted to clarify. So thank you very much. Also, on full disclosure and accountability, I, you know, I don't believe in doing this fast in a perfect way. Some people add, some people will juice all day and then have, a salad, a really good salad, or a sensible meal for dinner or whatever. And I know that there's kind of politics about, well, that's not really a fast. And, oh, well, are you doing juice only? I mean, I've seen some of this on the boards, and I think you just need to stick with the people who motivate you and who are kind of going through the same thing that you are. But also, they can open your mind about things. That's good. I am not perfect. Just because I'm doing a juice only fast doesn't mean that I'm stronger than anybody else who is incorporating food into their diet. I'll be honest with you, this is easier for me. I had significant decision fatigue before I started this fast because I was so tired of just deciding what we were going to have to eat 3 times a day. And so we have made that process a lot more efficient. And especially now, if my husband's doing juices and going to be eating healthier, I mean, that's just going to make things even less complicated. I'm doing it this way because it's just easier for me. And honestly, I had so many stomach problems before I started this fast. I felt like everything I was eating was making me sick. I can stick to this juice only fast because honestly, I'm scared to go back to eating solid food because it made me feel so bad before. Now I know it was because of what I was eating. I mean, of course, a cheeseburger or something, of course, that's not going to make you feel well. But honestly, too, I have sensitivities like broccoli, and broccoli makes me just as miserable as a double cheeseburger does. So it's not just about eliminating the bad foods and then all the good foods are going to make me feel great. No, I have legitimate food sensitivities, and there are vegetables that I can't eat. So I do have to be careful because I don't ever want to go back to feeling like that. So it's not that I am this strong, amazing person who can go without food for, 85 days in a row or whatever. Honestly, it's just easier for me. It's just easier. Now, I did give up caffeine cold turkey. That was really hard for me. That was probably the hardest habit to give up. There is one habit I have not given up that I do want to make you aware of because it is toxic, and while I am stepping it down and it's way better than it used to be, it is a habit that I need to give up, and it's psychological and partially a chemical dependence. But let me show you. This is my vice right here. For those of you who don't know what this is an electronic cigarette. and I smoke this all day. Well, it's called vaping, okay, because there's no smoke, there's no combustion. The thing is I'm addicted to the menthol, not the nicotine. There's actually very little nicotine in the e-juice that I use. I have stepped it down from 18. Um, Now I am down to I mix a 3 and a 6 together, and I'm stepping down to where there won't be any nicotine in it at all, and it will just be menthol. The menthol is what I crave most, and full disclosure, I have a history of addictions. I have an addictive personality. I can be semi-obsessive when I latch on to a new concept or um, something that I really like. I can overdo it. It's the kind of the dark side, the flip side of being really ambitious. I can use that drive to accomplish great things, but I also have the inherent capacity to not stop. And that is something that I am very conscious of during this fast. I have had eating disorders when I was young, in my teens and early 20s. I was bulimic. And while I certainly, and let me tell you the funny thing of why I stopped being bulimic, because it wasn't because I was concerned about my health. It was because I heard that the stomach acid wrecks your teeth. And me being as vain as I am, especially about my smile, yes, it's true, I am really vain about certain things. I stopped being bulimic because I didn't want to wreck my teeth. And I decided, I can lose weight another way, but I'm not going to wreck my teeth because dentures are a no. So full disclosure on that, I want to make sure that I won't take this in a extreme direction. I've talked to my husband about that, and I said, in the end here, once I get past 60 days, maybe getting into 90 days, if you notice that I'm getting a little off the rails about this or being too perfectionistic or whatever, I said, tell me, give me a reality check and say, Tracy, you're going off the rails with this a little bit. You're pretty healthy. You've lost a lot of weight. Maybe we need to make this reasonable, because I can see myself once I get down to 120 going, okay, but if I work just a little bit harder and go a little bit longer, I can get down to 110, because I'm that kind of person. And while that has been great to keep me motivated and drive me through the first 29 days, knowing this about myself, I have to be careful that this doesn't become an unhealthy obsession. Ironically, right? So, just full disclosure, telling you guys how it is. Um, I am trying to get off the e-cigs completely. Let me tell you, I smoked regular cigarettes for about 17 years. And I quit 5 years ago. I did quit cold turkey. I scheduled it for when I was having my wisdom teeth extracted so I wouldn't be able to smoke anyway, and I was going to be doped up for 5 days. So, um, I planned it so that I really couldn't feel much in the withdrawals, and I also couldn't take it out on anybody else because I was doped up on painkillers from my teeth. They were all impacted and they had to be cut out. So while I'm disappointed that I picked up e-cigs a couple of years later. I've been using e-cigs for about a year and a half, and it's this motion. It's this motion that the habit, and I have to find something else to do with my hands, but it's the hand to mouth thing. As you can see, I also bite my nails. I've bit my nails since I was 4 years old. So I do have some sort of oral fixation addiction thing going on, and I do have OCD, if you couldn't tell. So I know where some of these things come from, and I am working through them. But full disclosure, that's what I have on my plate right now. I'm not perfect, obviously. None of us are. And so that's the one vice that I feel like I'm still working through. Um, so I wanted to again encourage all of you who are just starting out, or man, you're hitting that. I tell you that 3 to 7 day window. it can be a little rough. But I've also noticed some people really struggling, um, you know, the third week, like say days 14 through 21, they're really struggling with some cravings and I understand, and you can get through it because there are ups and downs. Today I feel pretty good. There are days that I don't feel so good, but we're all here to help you, and I really appreciate everybody watching my videos. I do it for you. I'm not selling anything. I'm never going to sell anything on this channel. So, or any channel. I don't sell things. I'm just saying. You don't have to worry about that. I just want to be a source of support for all of you guys, and to show you how I'm doing, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. Um, and that's what everybody says in their videos, right? If I can do it, anybody can do it. We always think that we wouldn't be able to do it, and I can't believe I've come this far. I'm definitely going for 60. I may go to 90. It just depends on how the weight loss goes and how I feel. Weight loss at this point is not my primary goal. Elias, as we discussed in posts, this is done, honestly, I feel like it's done as much for my mental health as it has physical. And that was really surprising. That was really surprising. And I have battled depression for well over 30 years. As long as I can remember, at least since I was 7 or 8 years old. I remember it even back then. And this is the first time that I feel the the dark cloud actually lifting from my head. And let me tell y'all, I have been on every kind of medication for this that you can imagine. And even the meds did not do for me what juicing is doing for me now. And I am completely unmedicated, which is pretty rare. I'm usually on some sort of antidepressant, and I'm not now. So, and I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling better than I have felt. And like, I can't remember the last time I felt normal. Is this what normal was like? If so, I may not ever want to stop juicing. You see what I'm saying? So I have to be careful because it's doing so many good things for me that I'm afraid that I may take it overboard. So I'm telling you all this as well because I'm going to be hanging around through all this. And if you see me going off the rails, Tracy, say, Tracy, you're going off the rails a little bit, girl. You're getting a little obsessive. You're fine. You've lost enough weight. You are eating enough vegetables. Stop being so hard on yourself. There's probably days you're going to have to tell me that, okay? Because I can get out on the ledge about this kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up. I love all you guys. Thank you so much for the support. And hang in there, all right? Peace on.